Okay, friends, our custom has been that in the weeks after Pesach on Fridays, we've been learning Pirkei Avos with the commentary of Rabbeinu Yona, and we're actually up to Perek Beis, Mishna Yudaled. If you have access to a Shas that has Masechta Avodah Zarah in it, in the back there's a Pirkei Avos with the commentary of Rabbeinu Yona. And I would like to learn Mishna Yudaled. And before we do that, I just would like to review two highlights of some of the beautiful things we learned last year. You know, Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai sent out his Talmidim and he said, please go out and see what is the Derech HaYashar, the Derech Yashar Sheyidbak Baha Adam. And Rabbi Eliezer ben Arach said, Leiv Tov, and he said, in my opinion, Rabbi Eliezer ben Arach incorporates everything that you say. And Rabbeinu Yona says the midah of Leiv Tov is the midas haratzain, to be a savlan, to be tolerant, not to be short-spirited, to distance yourself from kas, to answer softly. Even if somebody does something wrong, you tolerate it. You don't have bitterness in your mouth. Chikai mamsakim v'chulai machmadim. That midah incorporates all the midas. Also in the Mishnah before, Mishnah Yud Gimel, the Mishnah said, Va'al tihi rasha b'fnei atzmcha. Do not be a rasha in your eyes. So Rabbeinu Yona had a question, really? But in Masechta Nida on Daf Lamed, we make a child in his mother's womb swear that even if everyone says you're a tzaddik, you shouldn't consider yourself a tzaddik. So our Mishnah in Pirkei Avos says don't consider yourself a tzaddik. The Gemara Nida says don't consider yourself, the Mishnah in Avos says don't consider yourself a rasha. The Gemara Nida says don't consider yourself a tzaddik. So what should you consider yourself? The answer is you should always view yourself as exactly 50-50, and your next move will determine what you are. That's Rabbeinu Yona. Okay, we're up to Mishnah Yudaled. Rabbi Elazar Omer, have a shakad l'mod Torah. You should be diligent to study Torah. V'da masha tashav l'apikaras. Know how to respond to a heretic. V'da l'fnei mi'ata amel. Know before whom you're toiling. V'neman hu ba'al malachtecha. Your boss is trustworthy, sheyishalem l'cha schar pulasecha, to pay you for your work. Says Rabbeinu Yona, Rabbi Elazar Omer, have a shakal l'mod Torah, v'da masha tashav l'apikaras. Meaning these two things go together. Sheyikba atzmai l'mod Torah. You should be diligent to learn Torah kedei sheyedel hashval devei apikaras, in order to respond to a heretic. Shem lo yishiveo kefi ta'anasav v'shkarav. If you can't answer him according to his lies, yilmadu ha'olamayhem, the world will learn from them. V'yishtu ma'im haram, they'll drink their bad waters. B'roisam, when they see kinoit se'achu, when they see that he's victorious. V'nimtza shem shamayim mischalel. If you can't refute falsifiers, it's a chil Hashem. Apikaris here are those who deny the oral law, or those who interpret the Torah not like the halacha. What does it mean, know before whom you're toiling? This is a continuation. Says Rabbeinu Yona, when you are conversing with the heretic and you are arguing with him, umeishav al dvarav, and responding, hishamar lecha pen yesizcha b'shemen chikai. Be careful that he doesn't seduce you in his sweet talk. V'tamein ledvarav, you may end up believing his arguments. V'tia nimshach achar daitai, and you'll be drawn after his mindset. Eladal lefnei mi'ata amel, know before whom you're toiling. Lefnei boichen kloyos v'lev. Never lose focus that when you're arguing with the apikaras, you are working for the one who probes your heart and your kidneys. Be very careful that you don't allow his arguments to enter your system. V'chi tilmad b'Torah, when you learn Torah, titrach v'tasam kavanascha b'zeh. Make sure when you learn Torah, you realize who's going to pay you back, who's going to reward you. Uv'zeh teida l'hashav es apikares. And if you have this in mind, you'll know how to answer the heretic. When you toil in Torah, tishashei ba, you should delight in it. Shematzinu sha'amra Torah. We say that the Torah itself says, Hashem kanani reishis darkai. God purchased me at the beginning of his ways. Or we find, va'eya etzloi amain. I will be to him a treasure. Va'eya shashuim yom yom. Hine lecha, behold, ki HaKadosh Baruch Hu yisala mishtashei ba. God himself delights in the Torah. V'yesh lecha lasos kein. So you should delight in the Torah. V'zeu shenemar, misachekes b'sevel artzoi, v'sha'ashuai es b'nei adam. This is what it means in Mishlei. Misachekes b'sevel artzoi. He rejoices in the world of his land and his delight with mankind. Ratzalaymar. Ka'asher hoisa ha'Torah sha'ashurim ha'Kadosh Baruch Hu koydem yitziras ha'olam. Just like the Torah was the delight of God before he created the world, Kain tia misachekes b'tevel achar shenivra olam. So too, the Torah will be the delight of the world after the world was created. V'sha'ashuim livnei adam. Meaning, the pasuk is saying, just like God delighted in the Torah before the Torah was given, so before the world was created, just like God delighted in the Torah before the world was created, after the world is created, it should be the delight of the world. Umi Bal malachtecha, know who your boss is. V'neman hu bal malachtecha sheisham lecha schar pulasecha. Shaloi tase malachas Hashem ramia. Don't do the service of Hashem deceitfully. Ki Hashem yisbarach hu bal malachtecha. God's your boss. Ve'ein nistar mineged einav. And nothing could be hidden from his eyes. V'oid, further, ki eich loy sitrach ba. How could you not toil in the Torah? You're going to be rewarded handsomely. He will pay you back faithfully. So here the Mishnah seems to be emphasizing, when you learn, don't lose focus of the reward. Because if you pay attention to the reward, boy, are you going to apply yourself. Question, didn't we say earlier you shouldn't serve Hashem for reward? V'yafal pisha amru in Perek Aleph Mishna Gimel, al tiyu kavadam mishamshin sarav amanas kavod pras. Says Rabbeinu Yona, number 1, Kedei lehiskaber ala yetzer ha'mesis ha'isa milasis ha'mitzvah v'lechas b'darach ha'yashar, in order to overpower the yetzer that persuades you from doing and seduces you not to do the mitzvah, not to walk in the right path. It's good to think there will be reward. Not to give the Yetzer opening to prosecute. So number 1, it's not ideal, but you need to know it to overcome your Yetzer Hara. Number 2, Ki loy his hero dasase elo kidei lavid es hamakim yisbarach. It's not telling you to know that there's going to be reward, so that you should love the reward. Ki loy his hero dasase elo kidei lavid es hamakim yisbarach loy mipnei chibas hasachar v'lemnei yiras ha'einish. It's not telling you to think about the reward because we want you to serve Hashem for the reward, but rather, just like a person is obligated to investigate and to know God's unity and greatness and wisdom and wonders, kidei lahoisef by Ava, to increase his love for Hashem. We all have to investigate God's power and wisdom and ability to come to love Him. So we're obligated to know how much reward He's going to give us, to think about the great chesed of Hashem, that we should love Him and serve Him out of love. It's not telling you, no, you're going to get $1 million, so do the mitzvah to get $1 million. The purpose here is, look at what a benevolent creator we have. He didn't have to give us reward, and yet He's going to give us reward. So that should inspire us to love Him and serve Him out of love, not to serve Him out of reward, but the fact that He's going to reward us should stir us to love Him and then to serve Him from love. Just like we need to investigate God's wisdom to increase our love, so to we're obligated to know that He's faithful to pay for our service, and then we should focus on Goydel Chasad of Shamakim, the great kindness of Hashem. Even though He's the master of all deeds, and He created everything, and we're all His servants, and we're obligated to serve Him ke'eved miknas kasbai. Even though we're obligated to serve God like an indentured slave, even if He doesn't give us reward, the point is we should know, even though we have to serve Him, even though He doesn't reward us, He's gonna reward us. And you know what that should do? That should increase our love. And then we should serve Him from love and fear. The reward is not to serve Him because of the reward. The reward is to increase our love for Him and serve Him out of love. Rabbi say, have a beautiful Shabbos. Mevarchim Chodesh Iyar. Shkayach, everyone. Yeah.